Amit Daryanani is an analyst with Evercore ISI. He has outperformed the equivalent of a buy rating on Apple and a $180 price target. Amit, thank you very much for joining us this morning or this afternoon here. Let's talk about whether or not Apple can say anything today that can kind of get it going, catalyze to the upside. It has been underperforming the rest of tech so far this year.
Yeah, well, hopefully that does not include a name change from Apple's perspective right now, because I'm not sure what they would come up with. Listen, from a numbers basis, right, I think the biggest debate and the reason why this stock is somewhat underperformed for the year has been this discussion around can Apple top line and iPhone units grow next year in fiscal 22 for them, right? So I think to the extent they can give you some data points and perspectives that, hey, December quarter, which will be the Q1, is going to be a positive growth here. I think that could be a positive sign. I do think the supply constraints will be a bit of a debate here, but I do think to the extent Apple can give you more conviction that there is unit and positive top line growth next year, that would be really good for Apple. The other part I'd say is, you've seen a lot of the internet companies come out and have some issues with what's happening on the advertising side with ATT and IDFA. Is any of that translating into positivity for Apple itself and the services business would be probably the other thing to focus on from Apple's side.
How difficult has it been for an analyst like yourself to predict or try to forecast what Apple's results are going to look like, given things like the supply chain challenges, given things like what we're seeing in terms of disruptions around the world, given those supply chain concerns? Is it hard to forecast? How much visibility is there?
I think the forecasting tools we have are still the same. The trouble is the levers and the drivers behind it seem to be shifting. So the conviction on some of these things is less than it used to be. For example, one of the big things for Apple always has been tracking lead time, delivery times for iPhones, and that's a good indicator of what demand or revenues could look like. Those have been extremely strong so far for iPhone 13. The challenge has become, well, is this really good because demand is really good, or is supply issues kind of impacting them? So things like that have become a little bit more difficult to predict versus historical trends.
All right. Amit Daryanani over at Evercore ISI with the Apple results coming up on deck. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.